Brookhaven hamlet includes an area with so unmistakable a character that when one has entered it, there is an immediate awareness of being in a place different in feeling from what surrounds it. Externally, this area is a wedge of land bounded counterclockwise by the Great South Bay, Carmen's River, Old Stump Road, South Country Road, and the Lowman Farm. It is roughly bisected by the Beaver Dam Road, a gently meandering path going west from Squassocks Landing and over the South Country Road. Internally, the hamlet is marked by woods and waters, marshes and open fields, grand trees, barns, modest churches, and houses which express the spirit of an older, pre-suburban form of life. The houses are too widely spaced to be a village, yet not so distant from one another as to form a rural network. It is precisely a hamlet, and as such it retains a quality of existence vanished, or rapidly vanishing, from the Long Island from which it once was typical. Written in 1985 by Arthur Danto. Conceived by Thomas and Elizabeth Post Morrow and established in 1969, the Post Morrow Foundation has dedicated itself to the preservation of the rural countryside and historic character of the hamlet of Brookhaven and surrounding areas. James H. Post first purchased the land along Carmen's River, now known as Squassocks Landing, named for a Native American potmaker who worked on that site. It was later donated by Post daughters to the Brookhaven Village Association for use as a marina. This purchase of land marked the first publicly preserved property on the Carmen's River and began the post-Morrow tradition of philanthropy in Brookhaven hamlet. The Brookhaven Free Library and the land upon which it was built in 1923 was another gift to the community. Elizabeth Post Morrow continued the tradition of her family by donating various gifts to community groups. It was the hope of the Morrows that the legacy be continued through the establishment of the Post Morrow Foundation Incorporated. The foundation has devoted itself as well to the project of protecting Beaver Dam Creek, a tidal stream running through the heart of our designated Fireplace Historic District. 140 acres along the length of the creek have been preserved. When Tom and Elizabeth Morrow married in 1920, her parents, the Posts, built a house for them on 4 acres on the bank of the Beaver Dam Creek. They lived there together until Tom passed in 1965. Elizabeth continued to live there next to her beloved creek until her death in 1992. When it then became headquarters for the Post Morrow Foundation. At the mouth of the creek, the foundation owns a 12-acre parcel of Clover Lane, which was rehabilitated through a partnership including Ducks Unlimited, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, New York State Department of State, and the South Shore Estuary Reserve. In partnership with Suffolk County, the foundation was able to preserve 50 acres of land on the west side of the creek, including Deer Run Farm. The foundation purchased the Fireplace Marina on the east side of the creek so that it will remain a locally operated marina for the community. The foundation owns land surrounding the creek on both sides of Beaver Dam Road, at the bridge, and some additional land along the middle section of the creek. Finally, the foundation acquired land in the headwaters of the creek across from Brookhaven Firehouse in partnership with Brookhaven Town. A watershed management plan for Beaver Dam Creek was developed in partnership with the South Shore Estuary Reserve. Development in the watershed management plan involves the surrounding community through ongoing and flexible process to address their needs for the protection and restoration of water resources. The foundation has, for over 50 years, formed many partnerships with multiple environment, land, preservation, and local community agencies. One of the most successful efforts was to save what is now Deer Run Farm from development. Working with the Lohman family, the Peconic Land Trust, local supporters, and the County of Suffolk, the foundation was able to preserve over 50 acres of land along Beaver Dam Creek. In a simultaneous transaction, the foundation purchased the land and the County of Suffolk purchased the development rights and adjacent open space. The farmland now remains a successful vegetable farm under the management of the Nolan family, who also operate a very successful farm stand on that property. Another successful partnership includes that with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, whereby the foundation contributed funding to acquiring the Robinson Duck Farm, South Haven properties, and 4 acres on Old Stump Road, which added 219 acres to the Wertheim Wildlife Refuge. Working with the town of Brookhaven, the foundation has been able to preserve several parcels of open space in the hamlet, including Washington Lodge and the 25-acre Burnett Lane Preserve. The foundation has also contributed to the preservation of property along several other tributaries to the Great South Bay, including 32 acres on Hedges Creek, now Hedges Creek County Park, and acreage along Abbott's Creek, Strong's Neck, Peat Hole in Bellport Village, Mott's Creek, and Mother's Beach, also in Bellport. The foundation works closely with other community groups, including Bellport High School Students for Environmental Quality, SEQ, Brookhaven National Lab to develop an Osprey Cam, the Bellport Boys and Girls Club, the Arts and Nature Group, SEED, Arts for Kids, and the South Country Community Network, which coordinates groups in the school district that provide services for children, youth, and families, to name just a few. The foundation successfully acquired 10 acres of land slated for development on Edgar Avenue, on which is now a trail network and passive park. Also acquired were 25 acres on Old Stump Road, which once was Long Meadow Farm and is now leased in part to the Hamlet Organic Garden. The Post-Morrow Foundation is dedicated to continue its legacy to preserve the rural countryside and character of the hamlet in Brookhaven and surrounding areas by protecting open space, conserving historic properties and local memorabilia, and photographs. Arthur Danto concludes his essay, "In sum, ours is an authentic American hamlet, where nature and human comfort exist side by side, where the realities of time and change are accommodated without shock, and where the beauties of ordinary life can be enjoyed without artifice or fear. As a hamlet, it has as much right to its continued identity as an historic building or shrine, a place of natural beauty, of a threatened species. It is like a memory which is not merely of the past, but part of the experience of the present, which deserves to be saved for the future."